Oh, welcome to the glamorous life of the car reviewer. When I picked this thing up the other day, it was just pouring here in Vancouver, and the next day it looked kind of shabby, bird poop and such. So I've washed off the 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line. That's their performance version. Does it perform, and is it suitable for your family? Let's find out today on Family Wheels. Here's an important public service announcement. You are not required by law to buy a crossover or SUV for you and your family. You are legally allowed to consider the sedan as an option, and a majority of automakers build ones that are practical, fuel-efficient, good-looking, and increasingly sporty and fun to drive. The latest contender in that category is the 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line, and not only do I think it's a viable SUV crossover alternative, it's just one step down from the sport luxury segment and thus a solid value. Want an invigorating drive in between fetching groceries and taking the kids to soccer games? Get in! N means high performance at Hyundai, which says it chose the letter because of its Namyang R&D Center in South Korea and the legendary Nürburgring racetrack. But it is also the next letter after M, as in the M high performance division of BMW, which was run by Albert Biermann before Hyundai hired him. Hyundai's chief marketing officer is also a German engineer with executive experience in the M division. And like BMW's M, Hyundai is spreading the N's cachet around by creating N Line, which is less all out. In fact, in some models it's just a trim package, but our Sonata has many performance upgrades. They start with the engine, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder turbo that's used in the upscale Genesis G80 and GV80. It maxes out at 290 horsepower, but arguably more important for everyday sporty driving, generates 311 pound-feet of torque at a mere 1,650 RPM, meaning lots of thrust. It's a delight to find Hyundai's turbocharger in plain view, very racy. Receiving the power is a Hyundai-designed 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, which does a decent Jekyll and Hyde act for around-town duty or hitting the hairpins. Power requires control, though, and the N Line has upgraded powertrain mounts, dampers, and anti-roll bars, plus larger brakes than its Sonata siblings. Well, one thing to note as we first start up the Sonata N Line from Hyundai is that the four-cylinder turbo engine gives you a bit of feel through the steering wheel and through your ears on startup. It's supposed to be sporty, so there's just a little bit of that four-cylinder vibration coming through the steering wheel, and you can just hear it getting ready to roar, shall we say, under the hood. Now we'll go up a fairly steep hill and give it a bit of gas. It's nice, it's pleasant, and it's not overbearing. Sometimes people buy a vehicle, this is particularly true for motorcyclists, they buy it because they like the sound, and then they very quickly discover that they're tired of it. They don't like the drone, it's giving them headaches or whatever. That's less of a problem in cars for the most part, but this car I think you could live with for a fairly long time, I'm talking about years, with its engine noise. It's quite pleasant. And I'll give Hyundai credit for producing a car that in around-town driving, we're on a fairly bumpy road right now, can actually handle the bumps and not loosen your fillings when the suspension is in normal mode. Well, right now we're going through some, I guess you would say, sweeping curves, not at too great a rate, but I've left the suspension setting, the other settings, on normal. That's a good test of a car, actually, and the Sonata N Line is doing very well indeed. And as we pull onto the highway and get into some fairly dense traffic, we see that the power of the N Line comes into play, but also it has excellent highway manners. It's not using a lot of revs at highway speed, currently about 1,500 RPM, so that's great for gas mileage, and for a long trip, of course, it's going to be easier on the occupants, the engine making less noise. These are very comfortable seats. On the driver's side, we have power adjustment. We also have a power lumbar adjustment so that it can come in and give you a bit of a squeeze for those tight curves. And the material is also extremely comfortable. It's a front-wheel drive car that doesn't feel very front drive. If you have a long, curving on-ramp like we are on now and you're pushing it a bit, the nose will tend to want to go to the outside. That's understeer and very typical. Otherwise, you really don't notice it that much. Now, I mentioned it doesn't feel very front drive-ish, but when you really hit the gas and the horsepower really starts coming on, you definitely know it's a front drive car. It's sort of up and away you go with a little bit of torque steer. Well, we're in sport mode now as we go through a series of nice curves out on the highway. Yeah, just very sure-footed through these sweeping bends. No drama at all. The N Line adds to the latest generation of the Sonata that debuted in 2020, with its dropped nose. The head-on view is of a stack of 3 arrows on each side, 2 pointing toward the center and 1 to the outside. Hyundai cleverly puts the daytime running lights in the strip under the LED headlights that form the top arrow and fade into the chrome trim that becomes the belt line, which runs all the way to the C-pillar and then back over the doors to the base of the A-pillar. It's a bit too chromy for some tastes, but works well with certain colors. Among the Sonata N Line's many features are a couple that are usually found on costlier cars: a panoramic sunroof and head-up display. And not the cheap-looking little plastic screen I've seen added to some other Hyundai models, but one that reflects on the windshield. This car also has 19-inch alloy wheels, full suite of active safety features, adaptive cruise control, 10.25-inch high-resolution touchscreen navigation system, full digital instrument cluster, wireless charging, Bose 12-speaker audio, heated but not ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, Nappa leather seats with suede inserts and red accents. Oddly, this model has the brake hold feature that's so useful in city driving, but does not have engine stop-start. The Bose system also comes with a series of ambient sounds, including rainy day, walk in the snow, coffee place, and seaside. There must be someone out there who doesn't find them all irritating, but it isn't me. The rest of the system is well organized and easy to learn. Favorites across multiple sources are in a neat column on the left side, and the screen resolution is indeed outstanding. Apple CarPlay or Android Auto are a plug-in affair. I tried to use Hyundai's built-in navigation system, but it seemed to be missing something and failed to provide directions. Here at Family Wheels, we test a car's cargo capacity with a standardized load, that is, 3 bags of groceries, a backpack, and a stroller. But before we do that, I'd like to show you a couple of features about the Hyundai's trunk, particularly how it opens. There isn't really a visible opening button. You do this, and it opens up. Now I'm going to lock the car, walk away for at least 15 seconds, and when you return, if you've got the key in your pocket, the trunk opens itself. You don't have to kick underneath it. It's a very handy feature. Well, my goodness, what a lot of room in the back of our Hyundai Sonata. It doesn't have to be all about crossovers and SUVs when you want to carry a lot of stuff. The Sonata has room for our rear-facing child seat and still has space for an adult in the front passenger seat. The rear seat also handily accommodates adult passengers. In terms of price, the starting line for the N Line is $37,999. The only option adds $200 for any paint color other than white, plus delivery and destination charges of $1,825, plus various fees and taxes. The bottom spec is the preferred, starting at $27,149, Sport at $31,649, Luxury at $36,149, Ultimate at $38,749, and Hybrid at $40,199. Only the N Line gets the 290 horsepower, 2.5-liter turbo engine. In the U.S., the Sonata variations are SE, SEL, SEL Plus, N Line, Limited, and Hybrid. The U.S. base price for the N Line is $33,300 U.S. Despite its power, the N Line uses regular gas. Fuel economy is rated at 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.2 highway. U.S. fuel usage is 23 miles per gallon city, 33 highway. Well, what'd you think? Is the 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line sporty enough for you? Is it family enough for you? Is it the best of both worlds? Leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm Richard Detman. See you next time on Family Wheels.